Today on Public Eye News, Marquette County is preparing for today's election, and we have more details on the Texas church shooting.
Todd Rose will have a look at weather around the UP, and Dan Campanen will update us on an NMU swimmer receiving an honor. I'm Mason Wallace.
And I'm Dylan Rangat. Welcome to Public Eye News. Ruska, the man who led police on a 5-day manhunt this summer, has pled guilty to 1 count of kidnapping and 3 counts of aggravated sexual abuse. Ruska had taken a co-worker out fishing on Saturday, July 8th on Chicago Lake. He then kidnapped her, threatening her and her family. When Ruska was arrested without incident on July 14th at the Shell gas station in Munising, the victim was found ratchet-strapped to the passenger seat in Ruska's truck. Because Ruska has a prior charge of kidnapping, he could face up to life in prison. Sentencing is set for February 7th, 2018. Polls opened up this morning for the 109th in races for Marquette City Commission and the Board of Light and Power at 7 a.m. This election features new voting systems at the YMCA and Chocolate Township Hall, allowing community members to submit their votes electronically. Running for the 109th congressional seat are Democrat Sarah Cambenzi, Republican Rich Rossway, and Green Party candidate Wade Roberts. No issues have been reported with the new machines thus far, and the polls will remain open until 8 p.m. tonight.
Smoking is the #1 preventable cause of death in the United States, but approximately 36.5 million Americans smoke cigarettes. Educators use this month to spread awareness about lung cancer, which is a life-threatening consequence of smoking. They said smoking and tobacco bans have been an indirect way to raise awareness of the harmful substance. NMU is hoping that their tobacco-free campus will influence other places to do the same. And the Red Kettle campaign for the Salvation Army will be kicking off soon. It has been a major fundraiser for the organization, and last year they raised $86,000. There were 35 volunteers last year, and this year the staff is hoping to have 50. If you would like to volunteer, you can stop in at the Salvation Army in Marquette or Ishpeming or call 906-228-2930.
Meijer's is all geared up and ready to go for the holidays by adding thousands of general merchandise items to its popular store-to-door home delivery service, challenging online retailers. Among the items available for home delivery includes the season's hottest gifts and toys, as well as wrapping paper, artificial trees, and Christmas decorations. Meijer President and CEO Rick Keys said, quote, "We've had tremendous success delivering groceries to our customers across the Midwest, so we are very pleased to offer them the convenience of having their holiday gifts delivered to their doorstep as well," end quote. Because most Meijer stores are open 24 hours, this offers more flexibility to customers so they can receive orders very early in the morning or extremely late at night. Honoring the victims of the shooting in Sutherland Springs, Texas, Governor Rick Snyder has joined President Trump by lowering U.S. and Michigan flags to half-mast starting yesterday through Thursday, November 9th. Snyder said, quote, "This sinister act of violence has occurred in a place of worship and is both heartbreaking and appalling. The people in the state of Michigan stand in support of Texas and offer our prayers to the victims and families and loved ones," end quote. Michigan residents, businesses, schools, local governments, and other organizations are encouraged to display the flag at half-staff. And after the break, we'll be right back with your national and international news. Stay tuned.
Next time on Finding Your Roots, family history, more complicated than black or white. Journalist Brian Gumbel.
He's a Confederate soldier? He was a rebel?
Television producer Tanya Lewis-Lee.
It's really astounding, but for him, I wouldn't be here.
And journalist Suzanne Malveaux.
Your fourth great grandfather was a slave owner, a black slave owner.
That's really tough.
Ancestry that challenges assumptions.
Tells you how stupid people are about race.
Finding Your Roots.
Tuesday at 8 after PBS NewsHour on Public TV 13.
2 of 14 tornadoes that touched down in Ohio on Sunday were confirmed by meteorologists at the National Weather Service. The tornadoes occurred in many Ohio counties, including Crawford and Ashland, with reports of possible tornadoes in Wayne, Erie, and Sandusky County. In Crawford, the tornado has been declared an EF2 with winds at 115 miles per hour, while in Ashland, the tornado was declared an EF1 with winds at 100 miles per hour. The suspect in the Texas church massacre is the latest in a string of mass shooters who had a history of either being threatening or abusive before carrying out their attacks. Weijia Zhang has more on signs that should raise a red flag.
The shooter in a Texas church massacre had a history of domestic violence.
There was a domestic situation going on within this family.
A 2017 report from a gun control group used FBI data to show 54% of mass shootings relate to domestic or family violence. In 42% of the cases, the gunman showed warning signs. James Hodgkinson, the 66-year-old shooter who opened fire at a congressional baseball practice in June, had been arrested in 2006 for punching a woman in the face. And the first wife of Pulse nightclub shooter Omar Mateen claimed he beat her repeatedly.
There are many people who do engage in domestic violence. They never go on to become mass killers. But because it's prominent in a number of cases that we've seen over time, it really does need to be considered as perhaps one of the warning behaviors.
Experts say other warning signs include becoming obsessed with other mass killers and acquiring more firearms, and that family and friends often see the behavior ahead of time.
What happens is that family members or friends will begin to normalize it or try to handle it themselves, and it becomes uncontrollable behavior.
Experts say it's crucial that family and friends alert authorities. Weijia Jiang, CBS News, Washington.
55 fraternities and sororities have been suspended indefinitely on Monday after the alcohol-related death of a freshman pledge and cocaine charges for another fraternity member at Florida State University. Andrew Coffey, a pledge at Pi Kappa Phi, died Friday after he was found unresponsive following a party. Police said there were indicators that alcohol may have been a factor, but authorities were waiting the results of an autopsy before determining a cause of death. During the suspension, Greek members may not have any organized participation in homecoming this upcoming week. President Thrasher has banned alcohol from all frats and sororities and has not yet given a time frame on how long the suspension will last. Gunmen disguised as police officers stormed a television station in Kabul in the latest deadly assault targeting Afghan journalists. The TV station went off air during the attack but started broadcasting immediately after it was over. ISIS claimed responsibility. Terry Okita has more from London.
Afghan special forces blasted their way through a wall to enter the private television compound where militants had launched their 3-hour attack. A suicide bomber blew himself up at the gate of the station's compound, while a gunman got inside and shot at staff before fighting a gun battle with Afghan troops. Mohammed Hotak was working at the station and says the fighting was intense. The attackers were disguised as police officers. Their assault killed at least 2 security guards. A group of school children made it out of the building and authorities hauled them away to safety. Dozens of employees were taken to the hospital with injuries. Mohammed Nouri says, the attacker shot me and I jumped out of the second-floor window to escape. ISIS claimed responsibility for the first major attack on an Afghan media organization since the Taliban were ousted from power in 2001. Terry Okita, CBS News.
Citizens in South Korea are welcoming U.S. President Donald Trump with mixed signals. Hundreds of people took to the streets of Seoul to show support, while others to show their disapproval of the leader. The protesters gathered outside the U.S. Embassy and held signs saying "No Trump" and "No war." This action comes with growing tensions between the United States and North Korea over nuclear threats. And right after the break, we'll be back with your weather and sports. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jennifer Delin, the host of Ask the Doctors. Please join me and many of my colleagues this season for Ask the Doctors. All year long, we will explore important medical topics, talk about new treatments, and most importantly, answer your questions with doctors live in our studio. So join us this Thursday for Ask the Doctors right here on Public TV 13.
Ask the Doctors about women's health, Thursday night at 8 on Public TV 13.
winds west-northwest at 11 miles an hour. And finally, moving into tomorrow, partly sunny skies with a high of 38 degrees and winds west-northwest at 10 miles an hour. Taking a look around the UP, over in Sault Ste. Marie, we got 34 degrees and cloudy, same thing. Down here with clouds in the sky in Manistique, 32 degrees. Escanaba at 35 degrees and fair skies. Same thing, 36 degrees down here in Menominee. You can take a look over to the western half of the UP, 34 in Iron Mountain with mostly sunny skies. Mostly sunny skies, but a little cooler over in Ironwood at 26. 27 and mostly cloudy up in Houghton. And back here in mostly sunny Marquette, it is 30 degrees. And we'll take a look at your weather ahead. Thursday, we got a high of 28, low of 15 and some snow. Friday, we're looking at a high of 28, low of 24 with some more snow. And Saturday, a high of 37, low of 32 with a rain and snow mix. Well, Dan, we don't have much good weather this weekend to look forward to, but I heard you got some good news about the NMU swimming team.
Yeah, they're coming back home this weekend, and they're coming back with a little bit of extra hardware. The Northern Michigan University women's swimming and diving team has competed 3 weekends this season and have now won GLIAC Women's Swimming and Diving Athlete of the Week each time. Lena Soulas earned the honor this week. Soulas posted 4 individual victories over the weekend. In Saturday's meet at Grand Valley State University, she captured the 50-yard freestyle and 100-yard freestyle. And her weekend also included assisting the 200-yard medley relay team to victory Saturday, as well as the 400-yard freestyle relay Sunday. Soulas and the Wildcats return to the Peef Pool this Saturday and host University of Wisconsin Stephen Point. The team's divers will visit University of Wisconsin Green Bay Friday afternoon for added diving competition. After squandering a 2-goal lead in the third period, Thomas Tatar and the Detroit Red Wings recovered just in time. Tatar scored the tie-breaking goal with 1:14 left to lift the Red Wings over the Vancouver Canucks 3-2 Friday night. Martin Frick and Darren Helm also scored for Detroit, which has won 4-5 following a 6-game losing streak. Jimmy Howard stopped 26 shots after Peter Mrazek's 36-save shutout in Edmonton the night before. Tatar got the winner shortly after a face-off. A deflected puck went right to him and he made no mistake with a wrist shot over Markstrom's right shoulder for his 200th career point and first goal in 8 games. The Red Wings are taking on the Calgary Flames Thursday night at the Scotiabank Saddledome. Matthew Stafford put on a quarterback clinic for the Detroit Lions at Lambeau Field. Aaron Rodgers could only watch from the sidelines, unfortunately. Stafford passed for 361 yards and 2 touchdowns to Marvin Jones, and the Lions snapped a 3-game losing streak with a 30-17 win on Monday night over the offensively challenged Green Bay Packers. Stafford was 26 of 33, including 12 of 14 in the first half, with a 25-yard touchdown pass to Jones. Amir Abdullah added a 4-yard touchdown run for Detroit. Green Bay finally got in the end zone on Brett Hundley's 1-yard quarterback sneak with 9:52 left. Familiar problems in the red zone popped up for the Lions when they were stopped on 3 plays that the Packers won and forced to settle for a field goal for a 17-point lead with 12:25 left. The Packers will take on the Bears on Sunday, and the Lions will have the Browns. Well, Mason, our green and gold didn't fare too well last night, but I hear you have some New York City water that got its own version of gold.
Yeah, it's a little funny of a story. A prankster threw yellow dye into New York's Lincoln Center for the Performing Arts water fountain. Social media posts show the fountain with lemon yellow water pouring out. The popular tourist site has been included in movies such as Moonstruck and Ghostbusters. The fountain was turned off once it changed colors to be cleaned, and police are looking for the perpetrator. And that is all the time we have for today on Public Eye News, but tune in again tomorrow. Thanks for watching.
preceding program was produced in studios located in the Edgar L. Hardin Learning Resources Center by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television.